Foxborough is not sitting around waiting for anybody's permission. The conversation today is loaded. A possible swing for a true WR1, an edge piece still sitting out there on the market, the ridiculous disrespect being thrown at Drake Maye, and a roster battle that could end up deciding kick returns. This is not some lifeless offseason. This is the Patriots flipping the board right in the face of everybody who thought New England was headed right back to the back of the line. Hit that like button and come with me because today we are demanding answers. Let's go straight to the part that separates a fearless fan base from a scared one. A J. Brown is going to cost a lot. Yes, a lot. A future first-round pick hurts. Nobody here is going to act like sending away a first is the same as trading some extra sticker from a pack, especially when part of the fan base looks at the age, hears the knee talk, thinks about the contract, and starts freezing before the deal even gets started. But that is exactly where I want to slam my hand on the table. For years, this franchise has been searching for a target who changes the defense's mindset before the snap, a guy who does not need to be explained through a spreadsheet, a guy the corner respects, the safety looks for, and the opposing coordinator wakes up thinking about. Drake Maye does not need another group of maybes. He needs a threat who walks into the huddle and tells the defense, "Pick your poison." Gary Davenport's proposal at Bleacher Report at least gives the punch some actual logic. The Patriots would get A.J. Brown and a 2027 third-round pick. The Eagles would get a 2027 first-round pick. That changes the entire conversation. It does not make the price some bargain bin steal, but it gives real value back to New England and eases the blow of losing that first. And honestly, if you are going to pay for a WR1, pay for someone who has already proven he is a WR1, not hope dressed up like an answer. The part that burns a little is the year of the pick. A lot of people would rather push that first to 2028 because the 2027 class is being talked about like a really strong draft. I understand that. When you are building a roster, protecting premium capital matters. But there is a difference between being smart and being scared. If the Patriots believe Brown is the player who speeds up Drake Maye, unlocks Josh McDaniels' playbook, and forces defenses to stop playing comfortable football, then arguing over the calendar can become just another excuse not to move. Brown has 339 catches, 5,034 yards, and 32 touchdowns in 62 games since arriving in Philadelphia in 2022. That is not just a big name floating around the market. That is star-level production. And if the plan is to put Maye in position to battle the monsters of the AFC now, not 3 draft board fantasies from now, New England has to step into this conversation without asking for permission. The price is scary? Good. Players who scare defenses are also going to scare the people counting picks. That is why the second story cannot be treated like some little footnote. AJ Epenesa is still available, and I'm going to say this as clearly as possible. If the Patriots really want to play January football, they cannot build their pass rush around a perfect case scenario. Perfect case scenarios do not exist. Injuries happen. Rotations get tired. Rookies have ups and downs. Veterans feel the calendar. And good quarterbacks, when they get time, can rip apart even well-coached defenses. Epenesa is not the type of signing that sells jerseys the second it happens. He is the kind of name smart, organized teams go after when they understand pass rush is not only about the starters. In 2024 with Buffalo, he may have had his best season. 13 starts, 23 solo tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 6 sacks, and even a safety. That is legitimate production inside a legitimate division. He knows the AFC East. He knows the physical battles with Buffalo, Miami, and the Jets. And he is still 27. We are not talking about some veteran running on fumes and trying to survive off his name. There is a warning label here too. Last year, Epenesa dealt with a concussion and injuries to his pec, foot, and neck, and he only started 2 games. That matters. But that is exactly why the price could land in a pretty interesting range. New England does not need to pay like it is buying a savior. It needs to figure out whether it is buying a dependable third piece for a rotation that still needs more bite. Harold Landry III and Draymond Jones are the main names on the edge. Gabe Hakes came in the second round and has talent. Elijah Ponder showed something. Braden Swinson has promise. Quintavious Hutchins brings speed. Fine. I like betting on development. But development without a backup plan turns into stubbornness. The defense ranked 19th in pass rush win rate during the regular season, while the other 3 teams that made the Final Four in the playoffs were all inside the top 10. That screams. It does not whisper. So if Epenesa already visited Miami, New England cannot just sit back and watch a rival sniff out the opportunity first. Vrabel wants an aggressive defense? Then load up that rotation. Because in the AFC, getting near the quarterback is manners. Putting him on the ground is survival. And this next part is where patience runs out quickly. The conversation around Drake Maye is getting ridiculous. Truly ridiculous. The guy was an all-pro, finished one first-place vote away from winning MVP, led the Patriots to Super Bowl 60 at 23 years old, and people are still trying to sell the idea that New England was some schedule accident. Like 17 wins just fall out of the sky. Like going 9-0 in true road games is smoke and mirrors. Like an ordinary quarterback leads the league in both completion percentage and yards per attempt. That is not bold analysis. That is people rooting to be right about the Patriots before they even watch what happens on the field. And the timing of this whole conversation is perfect because voluntary OTAs are starting in Foxborough, and Greg Bedard brought a strong behind-the-scenes read. According to him, team leadership is telling people to keep an eye on the quarterback this year. The idea he relayed was basically this: if you thought he was good last year, wait until you see him now. And the biggest part does not even seem physical, even if Maye may be stronger. It is mentality. Command of the offense. Control of the tools inside Josh McDaniels' system. That is where the rest of the league should start sweating. Because a quarterback's second full year in an offense built around him is often where interesting talent turns into a national problem. Josh Allen exploded in year 3. Jalen Hurts became a Super Bowl force. Jared Goff took a huge leap with the Rams. And Maye, honestly, walks into this stage with a foundation a lot of those guys did not have. Think about how wild this is. In 21 games, including the playoffs, he threw for 300 yards only once. Even then, he still finished with more than 5,200 passing yards. That shows efficiency, not empty volume. It shows a quarterback who did not need to turn every Sunday into some stat-padding shootout to control games. He won with accuracy, decision-making, timing, and explosion when it mattered. And if the A.J. Brown speculation really keeps moving forward, this offense gets the kind of presence that changes the entire math. So when somebody says the Patriots could miss the playoffs because the competition got tougher, all I hear is desperation dressed up as a prediction. Of course the schedule can be harder. Of course repeating a Super Bowl run is not simple. But treating Maye like he has already shown his ceiling is disrespectful to the player and to what this coaching staff is building. The NFL loves finding out late what Foxborough feels early. And if this mental jump is real, the question is not whether the Patriots got lucky. The problem is who is going to stop this quarterback when he starts playing faster than the defense can think. After WR1, pass rush, and quarterback, we move to one of those battles people ignore until the first field position mistake costs a team. The Patriots' third running back is not just going to be another guy on the bench. Based on the way this roster is built, that spot could carry kick return duties, special team snaps, and a responsibility that shows up exactly when the game gets tight. Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson are still the main duo. That part is clear. One brings power, contact, and experience. The other brings burst, acceleration, and that element that changes linebacker angles. But behind them, the fight is open between Terrell Jennings, Jam Miller, Lan Larison, and Miles Montgomery is in the picture too. Evan Lazar of Patriots.com brought up a read that makes complete sense. Whoever shows the most value as a returner could win the job. That is how serious teams build rosters. It is not just asking who runs better between the tackles in the third quarter of a preseason game. It is asking who covers kicks, who protects the football, who understands return lanes, and who does not panic with 11 guys flying downhill at him. The third running back spot is not a popularity prize. It is a brutal utility job. Jennings has the natural edge because he already has NFL experience. He played 77 offensive snaps and 69 special team snaps over his first 2 years. That counts because Vrabel is not going to hand a small margin role to somebody who looks lost when the ball changes phases. But Jam Miller did not arrive as a 7th-round pick just to decorate training camp. New England used a pick on him, and that usually means show something because there is a door open. Larison cannot be treated like background noise either. If he shows burst and security on returns, the conversation can change fast. Montgomery, as an undrafted rookie, has to make noise every single day because for undrafted players, the tolerance is lower and the urgency is higher. Harsh? Maybe. That is the NFL. The aggressive read is simple. The Patriots cannot waste hidden yards. In a conference packed with dangerous quarterbacks, short fields become weapons. Bad field position becomes punishment. So this RB3 battle may look small on paper, but on Sunday it can become the difference between starting at the 34 or being buried near your own end zone? Patriots Nation, I want to see it in the comments. Are you riding with Jennings' experience, betting on the investment in Jam Miller, or letting Larison or Montgomery steal that spot in camp? All of these stories point to the same thing from different angles. The Patriots are back in a place where weak decisions charge interest. If A.J. Brown is the target, negotiate with guts. If Epenesa can strengthen the rotation, do not let a rival jump the line. If Drake Maye is ready to climb another level, stop treating this team like an accident. And if the RB3 spot decides returns, pick the guy who gives you field position and security. Foxborough does not need to beg for respect. It needs to take up space. If you want to follow this season with sharp reads, subscribe to the channel and stay with us.